And I'm telling you, we have got to, I know you don't want me to say it, but unless y'all got a gold pot somewhere hid, you're going to have to raise some taxes.
Alamance County Sheriff Terry Johnson went before the Alamance County Commissioners and told them earlier this year, February, and I believe May, that they were going to have to raise your taxes in order to give him the resources needed to protect you. We'll listen to his explanation when it comes to the tax rate and also the crime rate, as he used them as reasons why they needed to increase your property taxes. And then we'll talk about, are you happy about your property taxes being increased? Well, hello and welcome to Alamance County Talks Politics. In this first clip, Sheriff Terry Johnson is going to talk about, he's trying to convince the Alamance County Commissioners why they need to increase your tax rate. And the first clip that we have here, he's going to tell us why. So listen, we'll listen to the tax rate, then we'll go to the crime rate. We're going to look at his reasons for why he says the tax rate needs to be increased. And we'll break down his explanations to see if they're accurate or if they're wrong.
But it's the 13th lowest tax county in the state at a tax rate of 43.2 cents a hundred. And I don't like paying taxes. But commissioners, if it wants to be put on somebody, I'll take it on my back. I'm asking you to help me protect the people of this county. And if you have to raise taxes to do that, then guess what? Terry Johnson did that, and I don't care. That is my job, is to protect the people here.
So Alamance County Sheriff Terry Johnson tells them they need to raise the tax rate, number one, because we are the lowest 13th lowest taxed county in the state of North Carolina. And then he says that if you have to take blame for it, if somebody's going to blame you for it, tell them Sheriff Terry Johnson did it, as though that's going to make it a lot better, you know, especially when you're paying your bills, you're paying your utilities, you're paying your taxes, you're paying your mortgage, you're paying your rent, you're paying your groceries, all of these bills. And yet we're to blame him when he says, raise our taxes. Well, what will the Alamance County Commissioners do? Well, that's what we're going to look at and see in just a moment. But he makes a statement that we're the 13th lowest tax county in the state with a 43.2 cent tax rate. Now let's listen to clip 102. In clip 102, he's going to compare us to Randolph and Davidson County. Listen to what he says. We're going to look to see if what Terry Johnson says is true.
Alamance County tax rate is 0.4320. We have for years, since I've been sheriff, compared us with Randolph County and Davidson County. I would like to show you Davidson and Randolph County is 0.50 and Davidson County is 0.54. And we wonder why we're having problems with our money. Alamance County is the 13th lowest tax in the state of North Carolina, 100.
So Sheriff Terry Johnson has made the statement over and over again that we have the 13th lowest tax rate. He says to blame him. And he also said here that forever we have used Alamance County and compared it to Randolph and Davidson counties for the tax rate. Now listen to what he says about Alamance County's tax rate historically, and then I'm going to show you a slide that refutes that.
Over the years, Alamance County has had the lowest tax rate anywhere.
So Sheriff Terry Johnson says that Alamance County has had the lowest tax rate anywhere. This is what I'm evaluating. When he's asking for this increase, this tax increase, he's giving them evidence as to why they need to do it. And he explains why. We're the 13th lowest. We've had the lowest tax rate of anyone anywhere. And here we look at this slide, and you can see here from 2019 to 2020 to 2023 and 2024. Let's start from the right and move our way to the left. You can see Alamance County had a tax rate of 67 cents. It is higher than both Randolph and Davidson County. The two counties that he said we historically compare ourselves to. Look at year 2020 and 2021. Alamance County again has a tax rate of 67 cents. It also is higher than Randolph and Davidson County. Look at 2021 and 2022. Alamance County has a 60-cent tax rate. Look at Randolph and Davidson. It's higher again. Now let's go to year 2022 and 2023. Alamance County has a 65-cent tax rate. It's higher than both Randolph and Davidson County. And notice in 2023 and 2024, we have a lower tax rate. Our tax rate is 0.432. But historically, we have not had a lower tax rate, a lower tax rate than these other counties. Our tax rate for the 4 out of the last 5 years has been higher than these two counties that he mentions here. And don't forget why our tax rate is at 0.432. Remember, Alamance County, we just came through a reevaluation, and the reevaluation caused our real property value to increase substantially. If I remember seeing the tax administrator's slide, I believe our real property values went up from $11 billion up to $25 billion. And so when you take $25 billion and you multiply it times that existing tax rate of 0.65, the tax rate from year 2022, 2023, I think we came up with like $162 million. Alamance County does not need that type of revenue from property taxes, real property taxes. So what the county commissioners tried to do was lower that tax rate to where they could get about the same amount of revenue that they got the year before. That's why we're at the 0.432 tax rate. We're not there because we've historically had a lower tax rate. We're there because of the circumstance of going through a reevaluation and the property rates just going through the roof, and the commissioners having to reduce the tax rate to what they would call a revenue neutral amount, so that the tax rate would not be, or our tax bills would not be astronomically unpayable. And so that's one of the reasons why it's low. So Sheriff Johnson, we have not had historically, we've not had a lower tax rate. For the last 5 years, I'm just showing you this. And Davidson County has had a low tax rate. Their tax rate's been 54 cents, I believe, all the way back to 2017. And Randolph, we have went back and forth with Randolph. And maybe earlier on we did have a lower tax rate. But I'm saying for the last 4 out of the last 5 years, we've had a higher tax rate than both of those counties that we compare ourselves to. So the first piece of evidence that he uses that we need to raise taxes for, he says, is because we have a low tax rate. Well, I don't know that we do, but we'll move on. You'll have to make that decision. Secondly, he moves on to the crime rate. Now, listen to what he says about the crime in Alamance County.
And Alamance County has the 16th highest crime rate in the state. You say, my gosh, sir.
Yep.
Well, I'm telling you, compare. Get on your computer.
Well, Sheriff Terry Johnson, that's exactly what we're doing. We're getting on the computer and we're going to look and see exactly what you're putting forth before us here and see if what you're saying is accurate, if it's true. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at this Alamance County. You say we have the 16th highest crime rate in the state of North Carolina. So let me share with you this screen here. And this is from Fox 8. This is actually the same information that is taken from the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation website. I've actually got it brought up on my computer now. I've looked at it. I've compared them. It's the same information. They've just taken it, and it's a little bit more easier to read for me. Okay. So, and I think it would be for the audience as well. So here we are looking at the crime rates. Now, when you look at 2021 to 2022, this is the most recent information we have from the SBI. We see that our violent crime rate dropped from 487 to 456.3. Now, based on this graph, I'm assuming somebody looked at this and said, and counted the counties that had a lower or higher tax crime rate than we do. So I went through this list and I counted the counties that had a higher crime rate than we do. And I came to, we are, if you count these, we come out to be the 18th. We have the 18th highest crime rate instead of the 16th. You can count these. You can go through and count them if you want to. Go to Fox 8, look up the NCSBI crime rate drops in North Carolina, and it'll pop up. You can count these, and as I've done, and you'll see that we're actually not just 16th, we're the 18th. We have the 18th highest crime rate, which, hey, whatever it is 2 spots better. I mean, it's better than 16th, absolutely. But that puts us in line with our city of Burlington. Burlington is the 18th largest. It has the 18th largest population in the state of North Carolina. So we're 18th. But are we 18th? Because when you look at this list, and you'll see here, look at Beaufort County that I've got here. You see that red bar beside of Beaufort County? That shows, if you look at the information given, it shows that they did not prepare or present this information to the SBI. They couldn't record it. So I think I counted 7 of those counties that did not submit information. So let's count them. You got Beaufort's 1. There's another one. Columbus is 2. Hyde is 3. Lenoir is 4. Mitchell's 5. Robeson's 6. Stokes is 7. And so we've got 7 counties that did not even present information. So are we 18th? We may not be. I don't think we are. I think we're probably higher. We may be upwards of 20, 21, or 22. I don't know. But this is another thing. I went back and counted the counties on this list that had a number that was close to Alamance County. And I encourage you to look this up. I came across Bertie County. Alamance County has a rate of 456.3. Bertie is 454.6. Cleveland is 453.8. Gaston is 429. Pitt County is 455.5. Person is 402.7. And Wilson is 439.6. So there are actually 6 counties there that are actually close. They're lower, but they're close to Alamance County. So I'm not saying that we don't have a high crime rate. I'm simply saying you need to have all the information to be able to make a more realistic explanation of where Alamance County is when it comes to the crime rate. So we're not 16th, we're 18th. And then you have 7 counties that didn't even put forth information. There's 2 or 3 that could have had a higher crime rate than us. And I know there's at least 1. And then we had 2, 4, 6 that are right there with us. So I'm for no crime. But at the same time, when you're presenting this information before the Alamance County Commissioners, you're giving this information before the citizenry of Alamance County. Let me encourage you to use the right information. So let's move on from that. The second thing I want to show you is this. During the February the 19th, 2024, and the May the 20th, I believe it's 2024 meeting, Sheriff Johnson also presented this information. He showed us let me go back and show you this right here. He also showed this graphic here. Look at the violent crime, 23.4 in Alamance County. The U.S. average is 22.7. Notice the property crime, 53.4. The U.S. average is 35.4. So looking at that, I'm with you. I'm like, man, we have a serious problem. And we looking at that, we could. But is the information correct? Is it accurate? Well, that's what we're going to look at now. So let me share with you this first information here. Now, I looked for that information. I typed in the exact information as it was found on that slide, comparing Alamance County to the U.S. average. So when I looked at this, I thought, well, this is the only thing that came up, best places. I searched. So I finally found it. And I mean, it pops up easy, but I tried to find it in a more updated year. So I found the information here. So I scroll down, I see, 23.4. Here's the national average, 22.7. 53.4, and then I have the 35.4. So I scroll down, and here's that information. Same information that is on this slide right here. Look at that. You got 23.4 average. U.S. average is 22.7. Then we've got on the property, we've got a 53.4, and the U.S. average is 35.4. So what I'm saying is I found the information. So let's see. I'm continuing to scroll down on this website. I'm saying, is the information Sheriff Johnson's given, is it correct? Well, I scroll down and I find this graph here. And I'm looking at this and I see the year 2000 to 2018. Okay, I mean, at best, this information, whatever's here, is at least dated 6 years. So I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe it gets better a little down if we move a little further. So I'm seeing Graham, North Carolina. I'm scrolling on down, and I see the dates here, and I see 2016. I see it, and it goes all the way down to 2007. And so that's troubling because those dates, I mean, at 2016 is 8 years old. Okay, well, let's just keep scrolling. So then I come to the crime in nearby cities, and I look at Graham, and I look at Burlington, Haw River, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm looking at this, and I look at the population of 11,969. So I thought, okay, well, let's look and see when Graham had a population of about 12,000 people. So I'm going to share this with you. And notice I Googled the population. It shows you the census. Remember, we're looking for a population of 12,000 people. So when I go down to the year 2000, which was a year when the census was done, it was 13,113 people in Graham. I mean, even in 1999, you had 12,100, about approximately 12,145. So at best, this information here, this information given on here, 11,969 is before the year 2000. But I'm thinking, okay, Keith, maybe something's going on there. So let's look at Burlington. So I looked at Burlington. We got 45,681. Let's go to their population. And as I look at Burlington, and you're not going to be able to see this, but I can see it. If you Google this, you'll be able to move this line and you'll be able to use the year and it'll show you the population. So I'm looking for a population of 45,000, maybe 46,000 people. Well, when I go back to the year 2000, it's 46,012 people. 46,000 and 2000. That was a national census. And we had 46,000 people. At the time of this, at the time of this shows we have 45,681 people. This information is dated. It is old. And so I don't know why and here's the same population. I'm not sure why you would keep using this. I scroll down to the end, and there's nothing new. There's nothing new, just the same information. And it appears that the information is quite dated. Now, in another presentation, Sheriff Johnson used this information as well. He used this crime grade. You say, Keith, how do you know that? Well, I actually looked, I searched, and I kept getting the same graph from crime grade. And so I looked it up and I thought, okay, we got a B minus. So I'm going to scroll down and we'll try to find something here. And I looked for 2024. This is just dated information. It's older information. So I looked at Alamance County, and it says here, the B minus grade means, let me close these pop-ups. It means the crime rate is slightly lower than the average U.S. county. Alamance County is in the 58th percentile for safety, meaning 42% of counties are safer and 58% of counties are more dangerous. Okay, so let's keep going down a little bit more. We see another crime map, and Sheriff Johnson's right on this. When he shows this map, when you look at these maps, you'll see that primarily the crime is taking place in Burlington, it's taking place in Green Level, it's taking place in Elon, it's taking place in Graham. It's primarily taking place in the counties. I mean, in the cities of Alamance County. But this is the part that gets my attention. As I kept reading, and I read this 4 or 5 times. As I read this, it says of Alamance County's 171,415 residents. So I thought, okay, when did Alamance County have 171,000 residents? So I look at it and I'm going, and you won't be able to see this. I can see it to the right here. I can see it. As I move, you'll see that number. So when did Alamance County have 171,000? The year 2020. That was the last census that was taken in the United States. So at best, that information is how old? It's at least 3.5, 4 years old. So the information that's being used in these presentations, they are dated. They're not new. They do not necessarily reflect the most updated information that we have or that is out there. And so what I'm saying is when you use this information to try to convey a tax increase to the people and to the Alamance County Commissioners, please don't take us for granted and think we're stupid. We can go out here and we can evaluate this information as well. We can look at the tax rate. We can also look at the crime rate and see that the information that's presented is not accurate. It's dated. And so I would say this for any government entity, any government agency in Alamance County and anywhere, use correct information. Don't try to pull the wool over our eyes because you're hollering or you're a little loud and you telling us we're this crime rate or this tax rate. Listen, we need to be given right information. We don't need to be just given information. We need right information. And it doesn't matter who it is. You need to check up behind them. You need to trust that person, but you need to verify. You need to validate. You need to follow up behind them to see. And my question is this. I guess I'm asking, why didn't the Alamance County Commissioners, they knew the tax. I'm assuming they knew the tax rate. I knew Alamance County had a higher tax rate than those two counties that we compare ourselves to, but nobody said anything. The crime rate, nobody questioned the legitimacy of the information that he's given to them in that meeting. And I'm thinking, why are you not questioning him? Why are you not asking him? Why are you not searching yourself? You represent the people. So do what you're supposed to do and ask questions, follow up, make sure the information that they are giving you is accurate and it is true. And let me say this, I have voted for Sheriff Terry Johnson every single time that he has ran for office. But I don't like my taxes being raised because it puts a burden upon households. And I'm sure it does you the same way. So Sheriff Johnson, you need to think about these things before you stand up there and tell people, blame you for it, because they very well may in the upcoming election. I'm just saying, be careful what you say. And let me encourage you, if you have any questions or comments, would like to get in touch with me, let me encourage you to email me at alamanccountytalkspolitics@gmail.com. That's Alamance County Talks Politics @gmail.com. Also, let me encourage you to hit the like, hit the subscribe button if you'd like more information like this. And until next time, take care.